All right, so on September 24th, I took my Part 107, and I will tell you how this had went on, how my day had began. So I scheduled probably about 2 weeks ago because I'm not a good test taker. Um, I signed up to start at like March of 2022, maybe March of 2021. Who I can't remember exactly. It's been a while, and I kept putting it off. I kept wanting to do it, but I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. So the only way I knew that okay, I'm finally going to take the test is if I invested the money into it first and had an appointment. All throughout high school, uh, grade school, elementary school, junior high, it was the same concept. I waited till last minute to study. So I scheduled. The place was 2 hours away. So of course I typed in the address, I copied the address, put it on my maps. It took me there. Now I showed up an hour early. I'm early for everything. I'm just that type of person that if you give me a time to be there, well, I leave thinking that maybe there's going to be delays or whatever. So I'm always early. So the first place I went to, I got pulled in. I got there, and like I said, I was an hour early, and I walked in, and I really had to use the restroom at the time. So I said, "Hey, where's your restroom?" They told me where it was at, and so I went, did my business. I came back out, and I said, "I know I'm early, but I seen the computers back there in the back are empty. Now I have a 11:30 appointment to take my Part 107. Can I do it early?" And I got with, "We can't do that here." And meanwhile, I'm thinking in my head, before she said they can't do this here, I'm thinking, if somebody wanted to cheat, they could have at this facility I was at. Because they let me walk to the restroom, not search, nothing. I could have put something in the bathroom and came back. Nobody would have known, right? So I seen a lot of issues going on here. It didn't seem very secure to me. So it's no surprise what I found out. So I got to the front desk there, and like I said, "I'm here to take my Part 107," and she says, the lady behind the desk, "We can't do that here until the 28th. "Well, what do you mean? I got an appointment for the 24th at 11:30 today." "Well, I can't accept payments, but I've already paid online." "Well, we're still not allowed doing it till the 28th. I'm not sure why nobody contacted you and let you know." All right, so what do I do now? Because, I don't get many days off. It was a Saturday. That's why I picked Saturday as far as the 24th because I didn't have to miss work. The travel was going to be a lot less because it's not a weekday for the city, so the congestion would not be too much. Well, you have to call the FAA, explain to them the situation, and they will refund your money and you'll have to reschedule. Well, all right. I mean, there's nothing I can do, right? So I called the FAA number that I seen on the email I got confirming my appointment. And I think it was the FAA I called. I can't remember exactly. So I called the number, and this guy's name, his name was Sean, and very, very good guy. Uh, I explained to him the situation, and he's like, "Oh my God, they should have let you know. Why didn't somebody take care of that?" You know. So he started digging to find out her claims, and now he couldn't tell me. It was just how she worded it, and some of the things he had said as he's scrolling through the computer. I can hear. Uh, they got in trouble for a violation of something. So their testing ability was pulled for 30 days. Now I'm relating back to, they just let me walk in to use the restroom right by the testing center. It wasn't like that it was separate. They were pretty much side by side. So I started thinking in my mind, maybe that's why they got in trouble. Now I don't know for sure, and I'm not going to put any company names up. Uh, so anyway, the John FA was helping me out, and of course he can't cancel my thing and sent my money back. However, it didn't update in the system, of course. So I said, "Is there something that you can do?" Um, I'm off today. I drove 2 hours here. Is there anybody close to where I'm currently at that I can take the test? So he got on the PSI exam website on their side, and he was doing a bunch of searching. And of course, everything that was showing up was showing Monday through Friday of next week. And I said, of course, he was going by my zip code at the time. And I said, well, I'm currently at the zip code, and I gave him the zip code where I was currently sitting. Like I said, I was 2 hours away from home. So he searched that. He started looking around, and I mean, the guy went above and beyond. I mean, he could have simply said, "No, it's the best I can do," and sorry, try again. So everybody was closed that was showing up on the system as far as places to test at. Uh, so meanwhile, he's doing that. I'm scrolling through the website as well, trying to look for places. And of course, he's seeing the same thing I am, but he sees more than I do. Finally, we came up to, it was a Pittsburgh Aviation Institute, or Pittsburgh Flight Institute, I believe is what it was. And he goes, hold on, let me check something. And he puts me on hold for a minute. He brings it up and finds out that there is somebody there at that facility. Now, they're not supposed to be working that day. That's just where people, private pilots, go and fly their little Cessnas or whatever for the weekend to push off some steam. So he gets back on and goes, there is somebody at this one place. He goes, I'm going to put you on hold, again, if you don't mind, and I will see if somebody can accommodate you. Sure. I mean, like I said, I was already an hour early. I was expecting to take my test. I was looking forward to that test. But at the same time, I thought to myself, maybe this is a sign. Maybe I shouldn't take it. So I'm starting to have second thoughts, So anyway, he puts me on hold. He makes a phone call. He gets back on and says, okay, there is somebody there. They said they can't accommodate you. He goes, I'm going to put you down for 1:30 if that is okay with you. I said, yeah, that's fine. He goes, now, if you're late, they will be there till 5 o'clock. They can still accommodate you. If you're early, they'll take you in and accommodate you if you're early. And at the time, I'm only looking at the map, and it said it was 31 miles away, which, okay, 31 miles ain't much, maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Not a big deal. Said, yeah, sure. Now, he had to tweak the system a little bit. I guess I told him, I said, don't put yourself in trouble, because he had to do some things on his side. I don't know, because, well, on my side, it was showing me as double booked, so it wouldn't let me pay for it again. It wouldn't even let me schedule again until the other one was completed or the time has elapsed, or however that was supposed to work. So he did some things on his side there, and I mean, that took a while. But he did manage and we got scheduled. I had to submit another payment because the credit that of my first payment won't show up until Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the following week, a couple of days. So I made another payment. It went through. So I got so I ended the call. I thanked him a lot. I mean, really, he saved me a lot of headache. Meanwhile, I'm starting to get fatigued. I've been up since 4:30 in the morning. I drove 2 hours. I'm now sitting outside in the parking lot for another hour dealing with all this mess. Um, and then the drive from where I was currently at to Pittsburgh Flight Institute, or flight school, aviation school, was another hour and 15 minutes because of traffic. So anyway, I get there. Um, of course, the gate was locked. Like I said, they're not supposed to be there. You have to have a badge or something to get in. So I called, and the only person that was there, uh, I said, "Hey, I'm here for my Part 107 exam, but I can't get in." They gave me the code for the man gate and told me where to park, because there were sectional parks that you have to park at certain spots. So I walked in. I can't remember her name. She's a very polite woman. Uh, she flies when she's not working. She works there to be able to pay so she can rent a plane so she can fly. And she's probably not very old, probably in her mid-20s. I'm gonna guess early 20s, mid-20s, somewhere around there. So I get there. Now this situation was a little bit different. She checked me in, asked me if I needed the restroom. I said yes. By this time, I've already had my pockets emptied. My phone was locked away, which was fine. It was locked in a lockbox. They gave me the option for the key, but there was only like two of us there. I said, just leave the key there. I know nobody's going to take it. And if they do, I'll just, say that it was stolen and I'll get a new phone. No big deal. So then I went all the way back. The restroom was this way, and the testing area was that way. So no way anybody could have cheated. Just, there was none. And that's how it should have been. I'm glad that they did that. But like I said, at this point, I'm already fatigued. I'm ready for a nap, to be truthful with you. So I'm still debating, but they get back there and they give me a code. She wrote down a code at the front desk that I had to go in. And we walked to the computer. She showed me where I was at. They gave me a calculator, a couple pens and pencils that I didn't need. I did use an end of a marker for measuring, and I'll explain that here in a minute. There was a magnifying glass, calculator, clear sheet of paper, some scratch paper, and the practice booklet for the maps and stuff that you're going to need to refer to. I can't think of the name of it. So she told me how to, type the code in. When you're done, you'll answer a couple survey questions. After that, you'll press finish. But she gave a rundown. She said, raise your hand. You are in video, because there were video cameras right behind me. She said, you are in video, so if you need me, raise your hand. If I don't see you, because she doesn't always look at the monitors, either go out and press pause the video by exiting that pauses it, and go get her, or just yell out the door. I said, all right. So I sat down. I typed in the code. It made me verify who I was, verify my address. After that, it would answer me it would show me how to operate the test, as far as what buttons did what. It gave me 5 practice questions, as far as to make sure I knew how to operate the system. One was, what is the capital of the United States? How many states are there? My mind wasn't retaining anything. And I'm the type of person that if I study, I can't retain it by reading it. I actually have to hear it before my mind sinks it in. So if it's not spoken, I don't retain it. So I was, like I said, I was never a good tester, which made studying for this test difficult. I gave myself a week. I worked a lot of hours. So that week came up to 2 days, which I was fairly confident. Yesterday morning, before I went down to take the test, however, I did a quick review, which all that did was confuse me. But I was still confident that I was ready. based on the practice exams that I took. I was confident enough that I thought I could pass it, which I did, but my score I think could have been higher. But anyway, so I sat down and started the test. The first five questions made me question, did I belong there? Because the first five questions I didn't see in anything that I have read. I didn't read it in the Airman Knowledge Manual. I didn't read it for the reporting. I didn't read it in the sectional charts or the weather. It was nothing of that. So now I'm just thinking, whew, this is harder than what this is. This is going to be close. So I finished the test within 1 hour, less than 1 hour. But I bookmarked a few because I wasn't sure of the answers. I bookmarked them if I skipped it. I only got the 2 questions that I think that I've seen before on the practice test. Now, I didn't need a calculator. I didn't need the magnifying glass. I did not need my test. Was focused on load factors of like how much weight can I put on it. One of the examples, if the manufacturers, if you loaded up your UAS to the specifications of the manufacturer at max specifications, what does that guarantee? And there's 3 questions there. Or, 3 answers. And all 3 of them could have been the correct answer. So I bookmarked it. There was about the categories. Category 1, 2, 3, or 4. I think I had 3 questions on that. There was some about the remote pilot or the remote ID. I think I had 1 question on that one. And it wasn't the easy question. They weren't easy questions. Again, like I said, I finished within the hour. You get 2 hours. So I looked at my timer, and it still said I had 1 hour and 4 minutes left whenever I got to the end, and I went through the bookmarks already. My problem is, if I go back through it, I start second guessing my answers. And I am truly one that if I answered it the first time, that's the answer. Because what happens is I start second guessing. Or it could be this, or it could be that. So I did go back, and the ones that I bookmarked, I changed 3 answers, I believe. I don't know if they were right. I don't know if they were wrong. But I got to the end of the 60 again by scrolling through. At this point, I'm like at 55 minutes remaining. So I figured with how the day had already went, this is either going to be make it or break it. If I fail, I'll go study some more, pay the fee, go try it again. But luckily, I had passed with 77%. So I go out it doesn't tell you right there. You answer a couple survey questions. You go out to the front desk. It's difficult to even finish the test. It doesn't tell you to finish or whatever. You actually have to click exit to get out of the test. And then after you click exit, it'll show you pause or finish and save and finish. So I saved and finished. And then it took me back to my profile again on the PSI exam site. And I tried to close that window, but it asked for a password. I didn't know that password. So that's what made me go out front. And I told her, I said, I can't exit. I'm finished, but I can't close my profile. And she said, no, that's for me. That she has to do it. I said, okay, well, what's my results? Pass or fail? Just give it to me. Whatever it is. I'm mentally beat at this point. She printed off the results. She said, well, you passed with 77%. good. It might not have been the 85, 90, 100%, but pass is pass. For a little study that I did, and I'm not good with studying. Like I said, if I read it, I can't retain it. So she gave me my paper. Now, originally I had thought that once you got this paper, that you were considered a remote pilot. That's not true. That just says you passed the exam. It comes with a different piece of paper. And on this paper, it gives you instructions. Now, it says if you are not already an FAA certified manned Part 61 pilot, and you do not have a current flight review, complete and submit remote pilot certificate and or rating application online or with paper application. Now it gives you instructions on what to do. You have to go back to the IACRA website. I've heard people say that it was 2 days before their results was on there, but mine was on there right away. I mean, it was a 2-hour drive back home, and by the time I got home and I got to that website, it was already on there. So all I had to do was confirm the last 4 digits of my exam ID, confirm my information such as my address, my driver's license information, expiration date, answer some questions like have I ever been convicted of drugs or whatever the case was. I think there's 3 or 4 questions on stuff like that, and the U.S. citizenship, and I click submit. Now, for me to become an actual legal Part 107, I got to wait up to 7 days for them to run my background, and they'll issue me a temporary certificate until a permanent certificate comes in. So I work a lot around the mines right now. My jobs are always changing. I'll either be working on cell phone towers, or I'll work in the mines, or being a mechanic out in the gas and oil industry. Or I do quite a lot of different things. But now that I'm going to be legally a Part 107 remote pilot, I'm going to be able to spend more time taking videos and photos and uploading them on here. And with that being said, because then I'll be allowed to be monetized, I will be able to take more time in making videos and not worry about the FAA coming after me because I took videos or photos or whatever. Now, like the mines and stuff, they do want me to get some aerial footage of current situation of the mine because Google Maps does not update frequently, so we got to go through an annual refresher every year. And during that refresher, it's good to have an updated picture. So I'm hoping that can get me into money as far as contracting that out so that I have some income from this. That was my whole point of getting to Part 107. Not just the remote ID law that came out, but right now I only have the Mini 2, and I want to get the either Air 2S or something bigger. Even maybe the Mini 3, for example, because it's got almost the same features as the Air 2S has. But I don't want to start spending lots of money unless I'm going to get money back from it. So I'm going to start somewhere, basically starting from ground zero. And as I grow, then I will grow my equipment. If I can't make nothing out of it, well, I may not use it for what they want, but it covers me legally for things to do that hobbyists won't be able to do. Yes, I hope to make money with this. I hope to be able to start a business with it. I live in a very small town. I think the closest drone person around in this area as far as this Part 107 is probably about 2 hours away. So hopefully I can come up with something. But that's my plan. That's what I'm working with. Even if I get monetized on YouTube, at least it's something coming in for once I get, if I do get that, then I will start investing in more equipment. I will start investing in video software, or taking more time with videos editing, which I know almost nothing about. I'm trying to figure that out. But anyway, it's a start. For those of you who are worried about taking the Part 107, the things I can tell you this. You're going to study the new remote pilot ID. You're going to definitely study on how to read the sectional charts. You are going to, even the small airports that doesn't show up in any of the circle class A, B, C airspace, you're going to need to, the one that would fall under class E, for example, or one that's still in class G, like you're in the municipal airports, they don't got a lot of information on that. So you're going to want to study on how to figure out elevation of that said airport that's in the class G airspace. You will focus on weather for sure. I did have some weather questions. How to read the TAF report, figure out which time the new ones came out, and then what other ones? Load factors of your drone. Definitely they figure out the weight management and stuff like that. You won't have to know all that stuff as far as how much your drone can do or how much a drone can do, because it's, for all drones, but it goes, like I said, the answer says based on your manufacturer. The other questions that I had was the category 1, 2, 3, or 4. Know what those categories allow. I did not have the ones that were telling me defined based on them by kinetic energy, because that would have made it a lot easier for me to figure out which category was which. But it gave me questions like, you are flying over people per se, and you have a category 4 drone. Why is that illegal, or something of that nature? Like I said, I can't remember what I read, but it was something in that nature. I think there was the two questions I got that was on my PSI practice exam. Now, we're not allowed to give questions exactly as far as what they are or what the answers is or whatever, but it was, no, I'm sorry, my mind went blank. But it was as far as, flying at night, or things of that nature. There are a lot of questions that goes up on the practice exam, but the first 5 I had, they made me question, was I ready? I felt ready, but I felt ready for the things I studied for. There was a lot of common sense questions. I think the common sense questions, I can't say common sense because common sense is lacking these days, I guess is the term for the better word. But take it. I know it's expensive. It's $175 per try. Now, they do give you the code at the bottom of this as far as the questions they gave you the law code and stuff of the ones that you missed. Now, I missed at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I missed 11. You're allowed to miss 18. Up to 18. And so I was cutting it close. Closer than what I would like. But at least it'll give you an idea where to start. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. I've watched a lot of stuff like that as far as practice tests or studying, or they may have helped. I don't know. Like I said, I originally started this process a year and a half ago. or almost 2 years ago actually, and so I remembered some of the things I learned from way back, but the new stuff as far as remote ID, that is definitely on the new tests. So that's something you do have to study for. As you might not get a lot of questions on it. 1, 2, 3. I think I had 4 on mine. But I hope this helps you out. Um, if you have any other questions, I will answer the best I can or whatever. But if for all these remote pilots out there who are considering getting to Part 107, I do recommend getting it. It definitely covers your butt if you need it. Rather it be for hobby, for YouTube, or to make money. I'm hoping to be able to make money with this. Is the idea of it. But it also opened up my idea that I think I might get my private pilot license next. It's a little bit more, definitely a lot more expensive, up to $15,000 from what I'm being told. But I think I'm a person that likes to keep growing and get more stuff. So, all right. I hope that gets somebody's attention, so I get some subscribers, and then maybe I'll start uploading some videos here soon. Now, like I said, I'm not a video editor. I'm not good with it, so basically just be some flights with some voiceover or whatever, but we'll see what happens. So take care and have a good day.